We're going to determine the relationships between these pairs of compounds, and sometimes it can be difficult to visualize whether or not we have the same compound or mirror images or what. And so I figured we would take the time to name these compounds. So like before, we find the carbon chain, the longest continuous carbon chain that contains our functional group. And here we have a 4-heptanol. The hept tells us we have 7 carbons in our chain. The OL tells us that we have an alcohol, and the 4 tells us where that alcohol is. Now this is not a stereocenter. We do see the wedge and the dash, but it's not a stereocenter, and the reason for that is because we have propyl groups, equivalent propyl groups on 2 sides. So this is just 4-heptanol. Similarly, this is just 4-heptanol. There is no chiral center. There is a plane of symmetry, and that plane of symmetry does go through this carbon right here because we do have the 2 groups, the 2 equivalent groups. So this is the same compound. We'll call this same for B, and the letters go with the compounds that are below it. I'm going to start numbering from here. So we have a 3-chloroheptane, and we have a 3-chloroheptane for the second molecule as well. So do we have a chiral center? And the answer is yes, we do. We have 4 different groups around this carbon. Chlorine gets CIP priority number 1. It is a heteroatom. The left side of the molecule for this molecule gets 2, and then the right side, the ethyl group, gets 3. The H is implied and it's coming out towards us. So we are rotating clockwise with the H coming out towards us. That means the molecule on the left is an S3-chloroheptane. So the molecule on the right here, again, chlorine is 1, the left side of the molecule is number 2, and the ethyl group is number 3. This time H is receding. So I am rotating clockwise. This is an R3-chloroheptane. We have 1 chiral center. It is directly opposite. Therefore, these are enantiomers. This compound, this is a cyclohexane. Now, more than a cyclohexane, we have 1, 2, 3. We have a 1,3. Oop, I didn't give myself enough room. So it's a 1,3 dimethyl. Remember, every substituent gets a number. Dimethyl cyclohexane. Now, do we have asymmetric centers? So yes, we do. I'm actually going to name these asymmetric centers because the H is receding, and that's easier for me. So for this particular asymmetric center, I'm going to give the molecule part on the right. Oh, I gave it a 2. CIP priority number 1, where this part is CIP number 2, and this part is number 3. We rotate clockwise. H is receding. That means this is an R. So for the other asymmetric center, this side is number 1. This side is number 2. The methyl group is number 3. We are rotating this. We are rotating, that's counterclockwise. Therefore, so I have a 1R, 2S. It's an S. Now you could also call this cis because we have a ring. Now imagine if you take this molecule and rotate it around, okay? Then we have the same molecule. You can go through the R and the S with each of these asymmetric centers, but the fact of the matter is both of those methyl groups are on the same side of the ring. Therefore, it is also cis 1,3-dimethyl cyclohexane. So these could be considered a Meso pair. They are the same compound. There's also a plane of symmetry. So all of these different ways can be used to decide what the relationship is between the pair of compounds. Here in D, again, I'm going to go through the task of naming our compounds. So we have a heptanol, and it is a 4-heptanol but we have a 3-bromo. So the question becomes then, what is what's the stereochemistry here? Well, for our alcohol group, that would be carbon 4, and bromine group is carbon 3. Let's do bromine first. So we get a CIP priority 1 for bromine, 2 for the side of the molecule that contains the alcohol, 3 for the ethyl. The hydrogen is receding and is number 4. We are turning clockwise, so that makes this a 3R for this molecule. And then carbon number 4, we have our alcohol group is number 1. The part of the molecule with the bromine is number 2. And then the propyl group is number 3. Hydrogen is receding. We are turning clockwise. So this is a 3R, 4R, 3-bromo-4-heptanol. For the molecule on the left, bromine is 1. The part of the molecule that contains the alcohol is 2, and the ethyl group is 3. We are turning clockwise. Hydrogen is coming out towards us, so this is an S asymmetric center. So we have a 3S for the molecule on the left. The OH, to name this asymmetric center, the OH is 1. The part of the molecule that has a bromine is 2, and the propyl group is 3. So we turn clockwise, but hydrogen is coming out towards us, so this is 3S, 4S, 3-bromo-4-heptanol. We have 2 asymmetric centers. They are both directly opposite one another. So these are enantiomers. For E, first I'm going to name it because we can always use more practice naming. And we have a 2-heptanol and 5-chloro. So first I'm going to double check that we are named. Yep, we would name the base of those molecules the same. So we are attached or bonded in the same order, not attached. So first I'm going to give a name to this group here. So we have 1 for our OH, 2 for the majority of the molecule, 3 for the methyl. The H is coming out towards us and is the number 4. We turn clockwise, but H is coming out towards us. That means that carbon 2 is an S configuration. This asymmetric center here, we give chlorine 1, it's CIP priority number 1. The majority of the molecule gets 2, and then the ethyl group gets a 3. So we are turning clockwise, but H is coming out towards us, so that is a 3S. Now looking at the molecule on the right, then, this asymmetric center did not change. So it is also a 2S, but now our chlorine did change, so it's a 3R. 2 asymmetric centers, they are not direct opposites of one another. Therefore, this is a diastereomer pair. There we go, diastereomer pair. For F, this is a cyclohexane. It is a 1, 2, 4 trimethyl, 1, 2, 4 trimethyl cyclohexane. Hopefully I don't run off the screen here. Now just on inspection here, these asymmetric centers are the same. This one is different. Therefore, we have diastereomers. If all three were opposite, then it's possible that we would have had enantiomers, and it's possible they would have been the same. We would have had to analyze. For G, it looks like the same molecule as up here. So the left molecule is 2S, 3S, but here it got a little tricky. So we need to name this one. 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this molecule is 2S, 3S, 5 chloro, 2 heptanol. But this molecule is a 6 chloro, bromoheptanol. So these are different molecules altogether. They are not stereoisomers. They are constitutional or structural isomers.